Technology.ie. We're at Congregation 13 in County Mayo, and I'm with Elaine Larkin. Elaine, welcome to the show.
Thanks very much.
Tell me, what was your contribution this morning at Congregation?
My piece was really about examining what would happen if you were to take Twitter and Twitter accounts into consideration when choosing your sources for writing an article, doing an interview or a blog post. And like one of the things you could do if you were to choose somebody who had a Twitter account, then you can actually leverage their network if they were to retweet your tweet mentioning them. We spoke to Elaine for technology.ie, that kind of thing. So, but there's a lot of people that aren't on Twitter that might be the right experts. So are you losing out on the quality of content in favour of trying to get reach? So we just had a bit of a chat about that. Tim Kinsella had spoken before my piece, and he had some of the Edelman Trust Barometer pieces around sources. So that was actually kind of really interesting, kind of two pieces fitted in. And I don't think there's any kind of really conclusive thing. Maybe you need to get more experts onto Twitter, or, you know, I don't think it's something that you should really solely choose, your sources on.
But there is a tendency, or there is a danger, is that what you're saying, that we could select sources based on how socially active they are on social networks, for the purposes of the fact that, say, if I quote Mr. X, then Mr. X will probably retweet me and I'll get further reach. But that is that's an echo chamber. That's a self-limiting kind of strategy, isn't it?
It is certainly, and you could be missing out on absolutely brilliant material, brilliant interviewees, just purely based on reach alone.
Which begs the question, Elaine, is an expert, or does someone have authority or reputation if they're not ranked highly on social media in this day and age?
They are. Somebody, it's still based on the word of mouth, and it's like tapping people on the shoulder. Yeah, you should talk to somebody. It does happen online. Oh, you should talk to at blah blah blah.
It's interesting because you're a journalist by trade, Elaine, and you have seen this. We all have in the last 5 or 6 years. Journalists have gone from looking down their nose at social media, and in particular, I would say, national media journalists, broadcasters and people like that have said, such and such a person is only internet famous, or why should anyone listen to bloggers? There've been numerous examples of people who have written, for example, newspaper columns, not mentioning anyone in particular, sort of poo-pooing the notion of blogging and social media. And yet in the last 5 years in particular, journalists and media have suddenly embraced social media. Any journalist worth their salt now is on Twitter and is engaging with an audience and also with sources online. Yeah,
I think it's a great way for people to find out, well, I need to talk to somebody about something. Can you tell me? But they can actually, rather than asking people around them in the newsroom or friends, they can actually ask a wider audience. And I know even on Facebook, in a private capacity, friends of mine who are journalists will go, can anybody recommend somebody I can talk to for this, that or the other? And they'll mention if it's an article, if it's a radio documentary, whether they need to go on the record, off the record, and they'll do a shout out that way. So it's kind of a good way to put the right people in contact with the journalists.
What's your impression of Congregation here in Cong?
I think it's a great idea. It's a lovely little village. It's really easy to navigate. It's a circular one-way system, so we're all able to get around it easily.
Thanks for talking to us, Elaine.
Thanks a million. Cheers.